Hey, what's up everybody? It's Moto Baggins here again. Just been pretty much busy with work, going on with life here, but actually in a couple weeks here in June, finally doing that trip down towards Tennessee. And I will be doing the tail of the dragon, the back of the dragon, as well as going to Jefferson City and Knoxville, Tennessee as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm just kind of going on a short little ride here, nothing super crazy. And so far on Tracer, I am enjoying it a lot. The other day I took my Vulcan out for a ride, and man, what a big difference. Which, I mean, obviously it's a completely different bike and all that, but definitely had to change my riding style. But yeah, it was good. It kind of made me step back and kind of realize that, you know, hey, you gotta ride a little bit different. It's a different bike. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. I rode my Tracer like first, and then I hopped on the Vulcan to see, you know, how much of a difference there was after it, and there was quite a bit. And then on my Vulcan I had like this quad lock wireless charger and all that. And so when I first put the quad lock on here, it was a little cockeyed because it was covering up the Speedo. I just threw it on real quick, to be honest, and I finally got it all adjusted to where it's vertical or horizontal, it all fits. And I took off the wireless charging adapter from my quad lock mount from my Vulcan and put it on my Tracer, because like I said, in a couple weeks here I'll be doing a trip. The only thing I gotta do left for the Tracer before the trip is really get it inspected. The inspection's up in June, but I mean, my trip is during June, so it's not like it's gonna be a big deal. I'd like just to get it inspected and just make sure I didn't miss anything. You've been watching the other videos. I went into detail. I got this Tracer here during the dog days or months of winter here. So I got this Tracer and I bought it secondhand. It's a 2019 Yamaha Tracer 900. It's not the GT model, it's just the regular 900 model. I got it with like 13,000 and like 500 miles on it. And when I bought it, I pretty much put new tires on it because there is a certain brand of tires that I enjoy riding with. So I got those installed. And then I changed the brake pads on the front as well as the rear. I did an oil change, and then I also, what do I want to say? I also bled the brakes, or the calipers I should say, the front reservoir as well as the rear reservoir. So I did pretty much almost every bit of general maintenance that I could to kind of get an idea when all this stuff was done. And it looks like we're waiting on a train up here, so that'll be good. But if y'all are new to the channel and or new subscribers, I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. Like I said from the very beginning when I first started this channel, like, I don't know, maybe like 2, maybe 3 years ago, I am gonna try to get better with content, but honestly, like, my objective with these videos is just kind of like a therapy to me, and as well as kind of just recording these videos that I can share with my dad and my brothers and my family and stuff like that. A couple years ago in June, we did a similar trip like we're doing this June, and I went down to the Tail of the Dragon and all that, like North Carolina, Tennessee, all that good stuff. And I went with my dad and his friend and my brother. And what was really cool is when I was a kid, my dad and them went on that trip with like an old 1980s Goldwing. What is this Camry doing? With a Goldwing. And so it's kind of cool, it's 20-something years later, we were able to recreate that trip, and that was really special to me, and I'd like to think for my dad as well. But yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of cool, kind of came full circle. And I'm kind of doing like a small little ride and loop. I did ride a little bit earlier this week. I didn't record anything. Honestly, I'm kind of just trying to stick to my one video a month kind of plan. And I don't know, I'm trying not to keep them too long because I know there's not a lot of interesting content per se. But I'm hoping I can get some cool video and content for this trip that's coming up. I got another wireless mic that I can give to my brother, and I'm hoping we can kind of try that out and see if we can kind of get some banter back and forth, you know, another voice into the conversations that y'all are hearing. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty much I've just been working, and mainly working, and seems like it's never ending, but I feel like, you know, everybody feels that way. But I am keeping like this ND filter on, which I don't know if y'all can see in the mirror. So I have that filter on to help with the sun, and I kind of just been leaving it on, and I've been kind of adjusting the brightness at certain parts of the video within my editing software. I feel like I should just do a video without it and see if there's that much of a difference, but like I said, I'm trying to do these smaller things just to kind of make better content and just to kind of improve. And this road's fun. Right now in Pennsylvania, the leaves are finally out. It's starting to get buggy, not super buggy. It's not humid or anything like that, but I see a lot of hit animals on the road and stuff like that. Truck my freaking lane there. Gotta love that. Gotta blop out that profanity. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of starting to get into full swing. It's been raining every day pretty much for months on end. And we're getting like chance of rain, or it rains for a little bit during the day, which ain't bad, but mainly it's just been raining like multiple hours on end, non-stop, kind of heavy. There's been a couple like windstorms that have blown through and done some damage. There was a big, I think like a tornado or a microburst, or maybe both that kind of blew through and put some power out to a lot of counties here in Pennsylvania. A lot of them are still going out with power, but at least 9 days plus. But thankfully, our home's good, everything's good. We didn't lose power for more than a second, and I'm thankful for that. And like I said, we've been busy with work, so I've been working Saturdays. So I've really been working weekends pretty much. Sundays we don't always do production. Once in a while, but usually we start doing production on Sundays if we get behind. But so far we've been able to stay ahead of all of that and all the demands. This is my favorite turn coming up. I'm gonna slow down a little bit here and let this, come on. I'm still getting used to the riding modes. I believe A is like the sport mode, standard is like the middle of the ground, and B is for like rain mode, from my understanding of it. And I typically like to ride it in B mode because I'm still getting used to this bike. or not B mode, sorry, standard mode, because I'm getting used to this bike. A is fun, like you get more of a throttle response, but I don't know, I'm still getting used to it, so it's still kind of jerky for me. But I like having like the power where you can kind of just go, you know, and you're already lurching forward really quick. But yeah, I'm gonna try. I honestly don't know what y'all would like filmed for the tail of the Dragon and the back of the Dragon. I did one video a couple years ago that has like 24,000 views, which is like the biggest video, and really it was just a no commentary, just kind of riding. And that really wasn't on the best setup, but that was the setup that I had at the time. So I think we're gonna hit the back of the Dragon and the tail of the Dragon at least a few times. So I'll probably do like one with no commentary and then one with commentary kind of thing. This is the first time this Tracer will be under my ownership on the tail of the Dragon. So I got to get a sticker for it. You know, you ride the Dragon, tail or the back, you got to put a sticker on it. So that's what I intend on doing. What'll be nice is this thing is like a 5-gallon gas tank, which will be nice for these trips. My brother that I'm going with, he also has a Yamaha Tracer. He's a GT model. I can't remember the year. I always forget. It's either a 22 or a 23. But we'll have the same size gas tank there. So in short, we'll be able to kind of do a little bit further. My Vulcan is a 3.5-gallon tank. So, you know, which we would always kind of stop around 100, 120 miles, top off kind of thing, and stretch our legs and kind of get comfortable. That was kind of our routine. And mainly that was just because, you know, I was starting to get, you know, not low on gas. I still had plenty, but, you know, he'd have 3/4 and I'd have, you know, half a tank at that point. So we would stop and get gas and all that and top off. So I'm thinking, one, with the speed, and two, with the bigger gas tanks, we'll be able to kind of make some better miles. I know on the way back at the end of our trip a couple years ago, we rode from Jefferson City, Tennessee, the whole way back up to where we live in Pennsylvania in one day. And that was like 9. My brother had a smaller ride because I lived 45 minutes to an hour past where he lives at the time. And I think I had like a almost 10-hour ride that day, and we only did like, well, I did like 600 miles. So that was the most amount of miles I've ever done in a day. Like the only time we stopped was to get gas. The only time we ate was a gas station. That was just like meat sticks and like monster rehabs, to be honest. So I would like to maybe do like an Iron Butt, which I believe is like 1,000 miles in one day, which, I mean, if I did 610 hours and I took like a 3-hour, 4-hour power nap, I probably could get that. Probably could achieve that. But it's just not something that I'm really trying to do. Now, if I was like on a road trip and I was like 800 miles in, I'd probably be like, you know what, I'll try for it now, kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe it'll happen someday, maybe it won't. But it's like every time I try to film these mountains, it's like every time I try to get on a mountain, I'm always stuck behind a car, which is always annoying. But I'm sure y'all understand that too. Yeah, kind of want to get on it a little bit, and I'm stuck behind cars all the time. So, but I don't know. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Beggars can't be choosers. There's worse things in life, I know. But today it's like 80 degrees, according to what the bike says, and it's definitely welcome weather, that's for sure. A couple nights ago it got down to like 33 degrees still, which I don't get. But wife and I are planning a garden here, or planted a garden. We're planting a garden in the sense of where we're planting this stuff. We already got starter seeds going. So it's just a matter of watching the weather here, and once we feel like it's not going to get too cold again, like it did a couple of nights ago. Oh man, this thing just rips. Woo! But once that frost kind of is no longer a worry, then that's kind of when we'll start planting some stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. You know, we've owned a house over, well, not owned, but bought a house over a little over a year ago, and you know, I'm 28, and I never thought that, not saying I never thought that we'd ever buy a house, but I honestly didn't think we were going to buy a house till we were like mid-30s, to be honest. And oh, if we get an apartment, you know, we got 3 dogs, you know, and just trying to have 3 beagle hound mixes, like, in an apartment probably wouldn't be smart. So I'm like, well, what if we'd rent a house, you know, like rent a house and be big enough and all that. And then we're like, well, really, the amount of money you'll be spending on renting a house, we should just kind of look at getting a house. So that's kind of what we decided, and that's kind of what happened. So, but please, like, comment, let me know what content y'all want to see on the trail, on the tail of the dragon and stuff. I'm gonna try to get some videos pieced together of us like kind of riding and going from there, and kind of just seeing I wouldn't say the chaos, but the banter my brother and I have. It's really cool to have somebody to ride with. So, and like, you know, we don't push ourselves if we don't want to, in the sense of like, we ride our own ride still, which is really refreshing. Sometimes he likes to go up ahead and kind of get the itch for speed, and usually I'm kind of in between, where I kind of just stay back and watch, and eventually we get caught up. But yeah, I got a couple day trips that I plan on riding to other than this trip in June. So if you guys want, stick around. I appreciate y'all sitting here waiting to the end. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Once again, this is Moto Baggins. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, a great weekend, you know, and I hope you all stay happy, healthy, and safe, and give you guys a little update. And honestly, I'm just going to go for a little ride here and kind of leave you guys in the dark, because sometimes you got to do things for yourself. So y'all, peace, you have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next video. All right, bye.